What's up, everybody? There has been a lot of news about the housing market crash here in the Washington, D.C. and its suburbs housing market due to the firing of the federal workers by the current administration, whether it's online or on social media.
Anywhere. And also the active listings, which is available inventory, is now up to 8,000 homes on the market, and 4,000 of them have been listed in just the last 30 days. The days on market has also increased substantially, doubling in the last 3 months. So this crash is just getting started. With all of these available homes coming on the market right now, the market could probably drop another 10, 15, 20% before summer. I mean, this is absolutely historic right now.
It's everywhere. And sadly, people are believing this news and reacting to it like it's true. Well, if you know my channel, you know I am a real estate agent here in the DMV, meaning Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, the suburbs right outside of D.C. And I'm here to tell you something. It is all, spoiler alert, fake news. It's kind of crazy how people who don't even live here do their research and just spout out whatever they want just to get a click. Now, I'm not saying it's all rainbows and butterflies here in the DMV. We do have a lot going on, but this kind of reporting, it's careless and misleading. So today, we're gonna look at some real data and let you all know what's really going on here in the nation's capital and its suburbs. This video is gonna be short and full of information, so feel free to share it with anyone who is concerned about the health of our housing market here in the DC area. So let's dive right in.
The real estate market in Washington, D.C. and neighboring areas is exploding with new listings, meaning everybody is putting their house up for sale. Currently in the Metro D.C. area, there are 5,581 homes for sale, and 2,183 of those were listed in the last month. This is the neighboring town of Arlington, Virginia. In the past 48 hours, look at all of the new listings. You can see them because they're tagged with that green coming soon sign.
Okay, let's start with Arlington because this story is full of holes. It's actually laughable. Here is a real screenshot taken directly from our multiple listing services, Bright MLS, of Arlington today. There are 26 coming soon properties and 75 active listings. If you look at single family homes, which if you look at her screenshot, the price points do reflect single family homes. But even if we had every single type of property in Arlington, ranging from $85,000 to $9.2 million in Arlington, the map looks like this. This shows 49 properties coming soon and 212 active listings. To give you some context, let's compare January of 2025 to January of 2024. Once again, this information is taken directly from our MLS. New listings for Arlington, Virginia as of January 2025 are 173 properties, down 3.9% from January of 2024. As for active listings, meaning the total amount of properties on the market compared to last year, we have 245, up 22.5% from last year, but still 1.34 months of supply. To give that context, a balanced market is 4 to 6 months of supply before it becomes a buyer's market. So 1.34 months of supply is still a really strong seller's market. So sorry, Miss TikTok, there is no mass exodus from Washington, D.C. with your fake green screen screenshot. But let's go back to what she said about the firing of federal workers and do some fact checking on that. First of all, there is a huge misunderstanding about where all these federal workers actually live. Out of the 2 million federal employees, the DC area, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, is home to 19.8% of federal employees, while 80.2% of federal employees work outside the DC area. Washington, D.C. alone is home to 7.1% of the workforce with 147,000 590 employees. And this is being generous. If you choose to believe the Washington Post, only 15% of the 2.19 million civilian full-time federal employees in the United States work in the Washington metro area, which includes Northern Virginia, suburban Maryland, and even a touch of West Virginia. So let's just say between 15 and 19.8% of the federal workers live in the Washington metro area, or less than 1/5 of them. The discrepancy may be the borderlines that each of them take their data from. Pew Research Center breaks it all down for us. If you want to look more closely, I'll put the link in the description of this video. They have the number at around 449,500 who work in the District of Columbia or the adjoining states of Maryland and Virginia. Outside that region, California and Texas have the largest contingents of federal employees, with about 147,500 and 130,000 respectively. About 30,800 federal employees work overseas. Regardless, for the purpose of debunking this housing market fake news, it's more important to know how much of these employees are part of the entire DC workforce. So, we got more math. According to the recent data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the total non-farm employment for the Washington, Arlington, Alexandria, D.C., VA, MD, WV metropolitan area, consider the DMV, is around 3,361,300 workers. So we take 450,000 divided by 3,361,300, which equals 13.3% of the area workforce is federal employees, not including active military or farm workers. So now we need to look at the percentage of recently fired provisional federal employees. While there is no official figure of the total firings or layoffs, Reuters says there are approximately 280,000 provisional employees. Assuming all of them were fired, that's 9.3% of federal employees nationwide. So then we have 9.3% of 13%, which equals 1.2% of our local workers have been fired if this is all true. But let's dig even a little deeper into this. Assuming half of them are homeowners, and this is not coming from any data, so full disclosure, I'm just assuming this. Could be a little more, could be a little less, but let's just assume that half of them are homeowners. And all of them decide to sell their homes. That means about 0.6 of 1% would be listing their homes. So now I ask you, does this sound like a housing market crash to you? And remember, it takes more than a day to just put your house on the market. First of all, you need somewhere to go. You don't just sell your home and then hit the streets. At least I hope not. You need to find schools for your kids if you have them. You need to find another home, possibly find another job. You need a moving budget. You need to pack up. There are so many factors to actually selling the home that you live in. And you need to get the house ready to go on the market. This all takes a lot of time. So the thought that every single one of these people is suddenly putting their house on the market here in the DC area today is absolutely ludicrous. So now that we've debunked that whole scenario, let's look at more real data about the DC market and its suburbs. We're going to go back to our MLS data. If you look at Montgomery County, Maryland, which is right outside of DC, where I live, we had 626 new listings in January of 2025, an increase of 11.8% from January of 2024. We have a total of 848 active listings, which is an increase of 33.5% from January of 2024, which brings our month of supply to 1.05 months, which is an increase of 0.23 months. The population of Montgomery County is around 1,060,000 people, so this is not a lot of homes for sale. Remember, a balanced market is 4 to 6 months, so 1.05 months is still a very strong seller's market. Now, does that mean that every house that hits the market is going to sell super fast with multiple offers and go way over asking? No, it doesn't. The homes that show well and are priced right will sell fast and will most likely get multiple offers and sell for over the asking price. I had this experience just this past week. My buyers wrote on a house, there were 3 offers, it escalated above the asking price, people were still waiving stuff. It's still happening here if the house is priced right and it shows well. Now, there are other homes that are overpriced or they don't show well, and they will sit on the market until they reduce their price enough that they will actually sell. And all this data together is what is producing these numbers. The days on market for Montgomery County are 19 days in January of 2025, up 4 days from January of 2024. The median sales price is up 14.3% to $599,945 from last year. Now let's look at Fairfax County, Virginia, to get another look at another housing market in Northern Virginia, which is right outside of DC. In Fairfax, there are 656 new listings, down 7.2% from last year. A total of 806 active listings, up 24.8% from last year, which brings their month of supply to 0.82 months, which is up 0.13 months from January of 2024. This is absolutely nothing. This is a strong seller's market. The population of Fairfax County is approximately 1,040,000 people. So you can see this is real data taken today from our bright MLS. This is not fake news. I think you guys are starting to understand, but let's continue. Okay, now let's look at Washington, D.C. itself. There are 802 new listings, down 9.6% from last year. 2,092 active listings, up 23.8% from January 2024, which brings their month of supply to 3.90 months, up 0.94 months from a year ago. The population of DC is approximately 700,000 people. This is the most drastic jump of all of our markets, and honestly, I don't think DC proper has ever really recovered since the pandemic, especially their condo market. Remember, during the pandemic, everybody was leaving the cities to come out in the suburbs to get more space. Well, unfortunately, I don't think DC ever really recovered because the market there is definitely softer than right outside of DC and its suburbs. Like I said at the beginning, it's not all rainbows and butterflies here in the DMV. Finally, let's look at the DC Metro as a whole. As of February 6, 2025, the most recent data. For single-family homes, we have 1,401 new listings, down 4.8% from January of 2024. 2,149 active listings, up 10% from a year ago, which brings the month of supply to 1.14 months, up 0.06 months. The median sold price for January 2025 is $734,900, up 5% from January 2024, and the median days on the market is 18 days, down 1 day from a year ago. For townhomes in the DC Metro, we have 1,027 new listings, down 1.6% from a year ago. 1,450 active listings, up 30.4% from January 2024, which brings their month of supply to 1.24 months, up 0.25 months from a year ago. Median sold price is $575,000, up 7.5% from a year ago, and the days on market are 19 days, down 2 days from January 2024. And finally, let's look at the condos in the DC Metro. We've got 1,293 new listings, down 5.6% from a year ago. 2,455 active listings, up 31.6% from January of 2024, which brings their month of supply to 2.18 months, up 0.57 months. The median sold price is $380,000, up 5.6% from a year ago. And the days on market are 32 days, up 11 days from a year ago. Like I said, I think that the condo market in the DC metro area is definitely much softer than the single family homes or even the townhomes. And especially, like I said, if you look back a little bit in this video, if you go straight into DC proper, the condo market there, it is pretty soft. You know, there is a lot going on here. Funny enough, what is booming right now in DC proper, I don't have those statistics on hand because it wasn't really relevant, but just so you know, is the luxury market. The 5 million plus market in DC is suddenly hopping doing with the new administration and everybody they're bringing in. Just interesting to point that out. So, if I haven't convinced you yet that we're all okay here in the DMV housing market, I want to end this with two articles. One is from Lisa Sturdivant, the head of our Bright MLS, who wrote a letter to everybody. And the other is from our GCAR president, GCAR standing for the Greater Capital Area Association of Realtors. So here's Lisa's. Recent reports are suggesting that there has been a surge of new listing activity in the DC area housing market, which some are pointing to as evidence of an exodus of federal employees from the region. At Bright MLS, we have the most comprehensive data on listings of homes for sale. Nearly all homes that are sold are listed on the multiple listing service, the MLS, which gives us the most reliable and accurate data on housing market conditions. Based on our listing data, we are not seeing any evidence of a surge of listing activity in the Washington, D.C. region. In the broader D.C. region, defined by the counties and cities below, there were 2,829 new listings that came on the market in the 2-week period between February 3rd and February 16th, 2025. This is virtually unchanged from the same 2 weeks last year when there were 2,820 new listings on the market. So I've shown you all the data from Bright MLS, and now you've seen the letter directly from Lisa to everybody out there. It's just not happening, people. Don't believe the fake news. Let me end with one more letter from our GCAR president. In the past few days, erroneous and misleading information about the state of the greater DC housing market has been circulating on social media, raising many questions among our members and clients alike. Recent changes to the federal workforce have understandably sparked concern about how those changes will affect our region. And some individuals are capitalizing on that uncertainty by distributing information that is not factually accurate. Bottom line, everything is the same as it was. It's just different in the fact that there's a lot of disruption here in the DC area. People are feeling it, and when you feel disruption and you're a little bit scared and you don't know what's going to happen, what people usually do is nothing. They freeze. And that freezing thing that may happen with people actually may cause our housing market to constrict even more. Because when you don't know what to do and you do nothing, you don't put your house on the market. Normally. Maybe there's somebody that does, but normally people don't. Because like I said earlier, it takes a lot more than just putting a sign in the yard. You gotta have someplace to go. You gotta have schools for your kids. You gotta have a lot of things. So what I can say to you is if you want to know what is going on in DC or Montgomery County, Maryland or Northern Virginia, reach out to me, send me an email. I'm happy to set up a Zoom. We can chat about it, or a call. We can talk about it. This is what I do 24/7. And if you hadn't been able to tell already, it just irritates me when I see all this fake news out there and then people really believing it and reacting to it. So don't believe the clickbait. I don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing it for the clicks. Stay with me and believe the data. And I hope you got value out of this. Please feel free to share it with whoever you want. If they want to know how we're doing here in the DC housing market. And if you are thinking about buying or selling here and you really want to know more granular details about your neighborhood, like I said, reach out to me. I'm happy to chat with you about anything you want to know about the housing market here in the DC area. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye.